Okay. I'm mentioning this often for now.
Wait. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. Okay, so. So, but I think that's probably
How are you? Making nice to meet you.
Thanks so much, guys. And right. Just let us know that if we're in the shop.
Yep. More people on this side. So, yeah, whoever wants to switch over to my left, perfect. Perfect. And they stand closer to each other. Yeah, stand, yep.
We were given guidance that people should be told to stand uncomfortably close.
Oh, and then maybe one more person to the left, just to even up the numbers. One more person to the left. Parveen, you want to run?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Priya's coming. Join. Oh, yeah, we have one more speaker, so two more people are going. Okay. Because her, right at the top of her hair. Yeah. Okay, there will be some negative space up there. Yeah, you're good here? Yeah. Parveen, Tyler.
Does it look like the height is on one side and then
It does. It does. It does. It looks like a descending line right now of graphic. Yeah, let's have some taller people. Yep, yep.
Yes.
Yes, microphone.
Does this look better?
Test, test.
Yes.
I think we're still.
Test,
you go,
1,
yeah.
2.
Yeah, great call, sir. Yep, you moving there is perfect.
Mic check.
That's fine because the chair's behind you.
Ronnie, we're ready to go.
All right.
Waiting for Ronnie. Whenever we think we're ready.
Yeah, we are ready. We are live. Perfect. Right. Let me go one more speaker.
Right?
Scoot in more because the frame is at Harvin, so we'll have you go further. So if you wanna go
Maybe behind Denali.
Yeah.
All right, hello. Welcome, everybody. My name is Pushkar, Executive Director of Sacred, South Asian American Coalition to Renew Democracy. We're here in Chicago. And we should be here celebrating a wonderful day on Ambedkar Jayanti, which is a celebration of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's secular constitution and the contributions of a global icon, Dalit leader from India. We should be celebrating Dalit History Month as well in April. Unfortunately, we're here today to call for a Hindu temple in Glenview not to platform hate speech this Saturday. An individual named Diya Rithambara, who is part of the same Hindu supremacist movement as Gandhi's assassin, founders of which whom openly celebrated the Holocaust and Hitler, a movement that calls for mass violence against marginalized groups, Muslims, Christians, Sikhs, Dalits, and others, a movement that calls for religious rule and wants to throw out the secular constitution of Dr. Ambedkar. Again, my name is Pushkar. I'm Executive Director of Sacred. Our mission is to overcome hate in the South Asian American community. Our work through our C3, Sacred, our 501c4 nonprofit organization, sibling event, Sacred Acts, has hosted events with Senator Dick Durbin, Representative Pramila Jayapal, Attorney General Keith Ellison from Minnesota, Representative Ilhan Omar. Here in Illinois, State Senator Ram Villavalam, State Representative Kevin Olicle, all in a multi-faith community and space. We're fortunate to have the support of the great-grandson of Tushar Gandhi, Gandhi's great-grandson. We're fortunate to be here in Illinois where we build a multi-faith space, multi-faith leaders to stand up to hate in Chicago, Illinois, and across the world. I should openly say I am a practicing Hindu Buddhist, and I raise the alarm today about hate in our community here. In India, we see a celebration of the assassin of Gandhi, where they're building statues and celebrating statues of the assassin of Gandhi. We see the call for the change of the name of a city to honor Gandhi's assassin. And we hear calls to murder minority communities, particularly millions of Muslims in India. That is in India. But here in the US, the hate continues. In Dallas, recently we've seen a fundraiser held to demolish churches in India. In New York, we've seen attempted assassinations of American citizens, Sikh Americans, in Vancouver, in Canada. We've seen that an assassination attempt was successful, and the murder of a Sikh Canadian citizen with the Indian government implicated. Here in Illinois, closer to home, unfortunately, we've seen attacks on secular democracy in Chicago, in Springfield, attempts to codify a Hindu supremacist ideology, a bigoted ideology that would exclude parts of our community. In Naperville, tragically, we've seen the burning of a Holy Quran by a member of our South Asian American community. Tragic event that Sacred condemned at the time. Most shockingly to most of us here in Illinois, there is an organization in Carroll Stream, Illinois, a western suburb of Chicago, a supposedly Hindu organization that is called and welcomed Steve Bannon, the global icon of hate, as a co-chair. Today we stand as a coalition of over 50 organizations and individuals who call on the temple in Glenview to not platform those who advance hate. We call on them to platform those who advance peace. I'm honored, again, to be joined by a set of multi-faith leaders. I'm going to introduce the first one today. We have a group of 5 other speakers in addition to myself. The first, the Research Director of Sacred, Denali Dasgupta.
Hello. This week marks Ambedkar Jayanti. Dr. Ambedkar advocated for secular pluralistic democracy, for voting rights, for public health, gender and caste equity, nationally in India and internationally. But today we celebrate Dr. Ambedkar's legacy with the knowledge that his words, his work, and his vision are under attack. Because even as the South Asian community rises up to celebrate the overthrow of colonialism and building democracy, extreme right-wing forces are gathering in our backyards. And against a national and global political climate that grows increasingly violent, extremists promote an ideology of hatred and religious ethno-nationalism that claims that this is our history, our faith, and our culture, And as South Asians and Americans, we say far from it. Dr. Ambedkar understood that democracy needs to repair and rebuild what oppression has broken and divided. He said that the advancement of women was a strong measure for society's progress. Now, all over the place, the right wing has always recruited women to partner in the creation of systems that oppress and control other women. And this speaker is one such opportunist who promotes early marriage, religious fundamentalism, violent militia training as women's path to power. And not only this, but our organization, the Durga Vahini, like many pseudoscientific religious treatment programs, specifically recruits women who have experienced domestic and economic violence, exploiting trauma to foster hatred. At Sacred, we believe our cultural and political background as South Asians and South Asian Americans uniquely prepares us to fight extremism, to defend democracy, and to promote civil rights. In Sacred's research work, we draw purposeful parallels between the hatred we see nationally and globally. And we shine a light on situations like this one, where hatred manifests locally. We invite others who are also fighting for a fair and free world into our struggle. And in troubled times, we advocate that we carry Dr. Ambedkar's legacy and we heed his words. Be educated, to be agitated, and to be organized. I'd like to introduce my colleague, Ushad Chadi, who is the Chicago chapter lead of Hindus for Human Rights.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rishabh Chetty, and I'm speaking in my capacity as a Chicago chapter lead of Hindus for Human Rights. Hindus for Human Rights is a nonpartisan organization that promotes religious pluralism, nonviolence, caste equity, justice, and dignity for all. There are over 50,000 Hindu residents in the Chicago area, and the overwhelming majority of us practice Hinduism rooted in love, faith, family, justice, and pluralism. We explicitly reject hate, especially when it's done in our name. We are here today to make that clear. Sadhvi Rithambara serves as a senior leader in the RSS, a far-right Hindu nationalist paramilitary and co-founded the women's wing of Vishwa Hindu Parishad, a militant organization in India. She has been recognized as one of the individuals responsible for leading India to, quote, the brink of communal discord, unquote. She helped lead the effort to destroy the Babri Masjid, a historic mosque constructed in the 16th century, and her rhetoric has been described as, quote, the single most powerful instrument for whipping up anti-Muslim violence, unquote. Hinduism teaches us nonviolence, compassion, truth, and service. It is rooted in the belief that the world is one family. Sadhvi Rithambara uses religion not to heal, but to divide. That is not Dharma. The Ram she speaks of is not the Ram of our faith. The Hanuman she invokes is not the Hanuman who showed boundless courage and love. And the Hinduism she preaches is not the one that guides my life or the lives of most Hindus in this city. By giving her a platform, the Hanuman Temple of Chicago risks sending the wrong message, not only to our community, but to our multi-faith neighbors across Chicago. Platforming her would suggest that hate has a place in our spiritual spaces. I want to make it clear that hate has no place in Hinduism. Our places of worship, our devotion, and our philosophy. We are asking the Hanuman Temple to cancel this event. Temples are meant to be places of service, compassion, and reflection, not stages for people to spread division. This is a chance to do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're honored to have Hindus for Human Rights as a co-sponsoring organization today, as well as the Muslim Civic Coalition. I'd like to invite the president, Dr. Dilara Saeed.
Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. Namaste. My name is Dr. Dilara Saeed, and I'm president of the Muslim Civic Coalition, an organization that focuses on advocacy, racial justice, civic justice, and civic education. I was born in India, and I came to the United States when I was 3 years old. I love both nations for their foundations rooted in honoring the diverse stories of all its people, every race, class, and background. Just in this last month, across Chicagoland, my Hindu friends in our family celebrated Holi. My Christian friends in our family commemorated Lent and will commemorate Easter. My Jewish friends in our family honored the Passover story, and all of us shared a Ramadan iftar. We work, play, pray, and live with those who respect each other and speak well of each other. There must be no haven, no place for hate language or hateful actions. Especially in these divisive political times, it will take everyday people like you and me. especially in Chicagoland, in the state of Illinois, with the top 5 largest population of Indian Americans across the US. And that is why we are here today asking for all our communities to reject the invitation for any hate-filled speaker of any background. Sadhvi Rithambara, who has a decades-long record of speaking dehumanizing rhetoric about many of our communities and a record of instigating hateful actions against families, is not a speaker we want in our diverse communities. We stand with Sacred and all our 150 partners and allies who do this work with us every day in justice and in peace. As I said before, it will take everyday people, you and me, to ensure our homes, communities, cities, and nations are safe from hate, safe so that our families are protected and our families can thrive. Thank you. And I introduce now Priya Shah, who is the CEO of Simple Good and a board member of Sacred.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me, and thank you all for being here. My name is Priya Shah. I'm the founder and CEO of The Simple Good, a nonprofit here in Chicago, whose mission is to connect the meaning of good from around the world to empower youth to become positive activists through art and discussion. As a Hindu, I'm here today with deep concern regarding the upcoming visit of the right-wing Hindu leader, Sadhvi Rithambara, in the Hanuman Mandir in Glenview. Our faith is rooted in ahimsa, meaning nonviolence, which is not just an action, but also a thought, a word, and intention. Hinduism teaches us that the divine resides in all of us, regardless of race, faith, and nationality. Our temples are sacred spaces meant for reflection, purification of mind, and inner realization that love and God exist within each of us. Sadhvi Rithambara's record and rhetoric have long stood in stark contrast from these principles. Her words have incited division, fear, and violence, values that have no place in any house of worship, let alone a mandir that should stand for unity, compassion, and peace. To allow her to lead a puja here is not just a passive act, it's an endorsement of ideologies that run counter to the very soul of our dharma. We must ask ourselves, what are we sanctifying by allowing this? Is this devotion or is it division? We urge the temple leadership to honor the true essence of Hinduism and reject the use of the sacred space to amplify hate. Let our temples be places that heal, not harm, that connect, not divide, and reflect the highest ideals of our shared humanity. Thank you. And I'm honored to introduce Gregory Abdullah Mitchell, Executive Director, the Council of Islamic Organizations of Greater Chicago.
Thank you. Once again, my name is Gregory Abdullah Mitchell. I serve as the Executive Director of the Council of Islamic Organizations of Greater Chicago, federation of 70+ Muslim organizations, primarily mosques, schools, and social service agencies. You know, today I'm wearing this pen. I was asked to wear this pen, and this pen says sacred. And really, sacred embodies the words or the concept I want to share with you. Because what is common among all the faith traditions that are here today is a respect for human life. It is at the core of our religious beliefs, of our religious traditions. It imposes on us a moral responsibility to preserve human life, to protect and nourish human life wherever it is, because we recognize life is divine. Today's speakers have already outlined this challenge that is unfortunately becoming too common today, where we are witnessing proponents of one group or religious group weaponizing its beliefs and practices against another group to either marginalize them, subjugate them. Or in the worst case symptoms, even resulting in violence against these marginalized people. This is a risk that we as a common people of people of common faith and common principles cannot ignore. We must stand together to resist all these calls for anything that goes against these fundamental principles of respecting everyone's life, everyone's place here in society. So this is not a problem just endemic to the Hindu community. This is common in too many places. And as it was just mentioned by one of the speakers, it is becoming too common in the United States. We as faith leaders, as people of faith, cannot tolerate or permit this kind of behavior to coexist with us. It undermines our the principles of our faith, and it compromises what we represent as a nation. So I endorse wholeheartedly the speaker's call to renounce this invitation to any person who's going to voice hate speech and hate behavior. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. We're going to open for questions quickly.
Could you summarize the call to action?
I think there's, I'll summarize our call to action. Let's take this question and maybe we can take that one next.
Yeah, have you reached out to the temple and have you heard anything from them?
Thus far, our outreach to the temple has been unsuccessful. Today here, we're a multi-faith group. We have over 50 individuals and organizations who have signed on to a short, simple statement to call for the temple to rescind the invitation to this individual. We will share that with them in writing, and we hope to hear a response by tomorrow. Any other questions?
Could you summarize the call to actions?
Yes, thank you very much. As we close, we just want to say at a time like this, when in Washington and other capitals around the world, there is a disdain for secular democracy. There is a leaning into authoritarian tendencies, trying to fight against multi-faith, multiracial democracy. This is a terrible time for an individual who represents a minority faith community in this country, Hinduism, faith that I practice, who is coming here to advocate for overthrowing of a secular constitution and advocate for religious rule. We see this in Washington today, a movement that would threaten the life and the opportunity to pray in our own faith traditions here in the US for minority faith communities. So in solidarity together, in multi-faith ask, we ask that this invitation be rescinded. We ask that the temple look at its core principles and invite people that would bring together unity, harmony, peace, nonviolence, and equality in this country. Please take a look at our social media. I think it's on Instagram and LinkedIn, the link to sign up to take to sign on to our call to cancel this speaker's engagement on Saturday in Glen. With that, there are no other questions. I want to thank everybody for joining us today. Thank you. We are going offline.